Awfully sorry we're not in the studio and actually have a background. Yeah, no green screen here. Pure glass, baby. You know what that is? Melbourne. You know why I'm here? Probably because we've been advertising it incessantly. And I choose to do it again. I'm at Melbourne because I'm doing my live show. Come see it. It's going to be a night of red pills, one after the other. You're just going to come out. Your mind's going to be so expanded. Some people's brains explode. There's no refunds if that happens. Buyer beware. Okay? So make sure that you get your tickets at friendlyshorties.com. And now for the secondary piece of information that this entire video is about, which is breaking as of probably over a week ago. Sorry that we were late on this one. But Scott Morrison, shock horror, is dodgy. Did you know that? Well, apparently the rest of the mainstream press did not. And they only discovered it very conveniently when Scott Morrison was safely tucked into the backbenches, which, yes, there is a lot of legal questions that this raises, obviously. But I think that the bigger question that no one has been asking is, why is Scott Morrison still in Parliament? Surely he has better job prospects than that. He did so much for coal. Is he still so bad that when he goes over to them and says, okay, so I can just shit on a board where I'm not actually supposed to do anything and get paid 500 grand a year to do it, right? And they're just like, no, I'm going to be honest with you, Scott, we never liked your company. Is this all he has? I mean, I know those chairs are comfy, but there's got to be some other job that has better perks for him. It's just embarrassing being there at the time. Just go. Go away. But yes, all right, so we'll talk about the fact that he's had many roles that he was playing while being Prime Minister at the same time, which really does reinforce my previous point of, surely, if you were at the same time as being Prime Minister, the Minister for Resources and the Treasurer and the Minister for Health, surely that is a impressive enough resume to counter out the fact that where the bloody hell are you didn't do as successfully as they hoped. But apparently not. And I really do like the fact that in Scott Morrison's mind, the reason that he had to do this is because he's this Winston Churchill-esque Prime Minister, except for not facing anywhere near the level of casualty rates. And he didn't have the nuts even to come out and publicly say that he had all of these wartime measures. He had to keep that a secret to himself. I mean, God, my God, causing a near constitutional crisis just because you like to micromanage. You know what the other part is that I think that the press has just completely glossed over almost entirely, is that the only reason that anyone knows about this is because Scott Morrison, I'm hearing that people were writing, memoirs of him, I suppose, or a book, or, they were collecting something of his time in office. And he tells these journos, hey, just a little humble brag for you. I secretly swore myself into many portfolios at once, meaning that many of the checks and balances of the Westminster system were taken out because of how hard I found it to sleep at night. I had to take mild sedatives. And what is a mild sedative, by the way? Is it Tixie Wicks? What the hell is this? It really doesn't even sound like he was that upset if it was mild sedatives. Not mild enough to essentially become a secret dictator, which I do like the other aspect of this, which is that there are a lot of Liberals coming out and decrying Scott Morrison and how he should step down immediately, which that's something new. It does truly astonish me that as soon as someone has no power, all of a sudden everybody grows a backbone. But I do also have to commend Peter Dutton for coming out and really pretty much just very strongly being like, no, he can do what he wants in life, that's fine. And you know why I think that is? I think that secretly he's realized, I could do the same thing. So he's just, I think this is the thing that if you were going to step back for a moment and think about it for a second, it was kind of like one of those things of, yeah, it's theoretically possible to do this, but no one ever was that tenacious to do it, So that really shows how far the general norms of Parliament declined in the era of Scott Morrison, because he also used this as an example, just for example, sorry, when it came to debates in Parliament, when it came to parliamentary procedure of the opposition being able to ask questions, all of that was squeezed down to its rawest form. Just nasty things. I mean, Jesus, nobody airs what the Labor Party says anyway. But Scott Morrison wouldn't give them the chance to just look him in the eye and say, where is all this grant money going? Which brings me to my next point. If this is what comes out of his mouth, as in he thought this was a good thing, and he's not particularly ashamed of it, wanted that to come out to the public, can you imagine what is going to be uncovered when Labor finally sets up a federal ICAC? Oh man, I am licking my oddly dry lips up here. I think it's because you're in one of these Melbourne skyscrapers where the altitude changes. I'm pretty much Mount Everest level at the moment. But regardless, they'd be dry nonetheless, because once that information comes out, that is going to be explosive. Every single day. Can you imagine a government that was that confident in itself? And by government, I just mean how they always say something like the Morrison government. It truly was the first time in Australian history, the Morrison government. It is going to be phenomenal how much extremely, not just immoral, because it really seems like the press doesn't really care what is and isn't moral. Like, I do think that a major reason that the press is so angry about this, as opposed to all the other stuff. I mean, look, I made a career out of bitching about how bad Scott Morrison is, because they were just leaving it in the trash every day. It was like going to one of those rich guy houses and just being like, this is a perfectly good cantaloupe, like every day, But if that's the case of what's on public record, imagine what will be found in discovery. Imagine. It's just going to be like, this is the thing that I think no one else is looking at. This is what Scott Morrison thinks is good. What is that man hiding that he is ashamed of? And you know that he must be ashamed of a lot, because he thought that going on holiday wasn't good. He just did that out of bureaucratic habitual habit, like a goose migrating from South America to Australia. That was instinctual. He had to do that, but he knew he had to do that, and he hid it. He must be doing a bunch of stuff that he routinely hides, because we did a video on him ages ago. You can go look it up if I could remember what it's called, and I can't. But we did a video on him. It was very long. But a lot of it was just going through all of his little pencil-pushing games that he did throughout his entire career before he even won a seat. And this is just endemic of that man's entire life, is just playing these little bullshit pencil-pushing games to give himself a little bit more power, to the point that it was like, you're already Prime Minister. Why do you have to push the envelope further than that? Surely if you just say to someone in the meeting, you just kind of make that awkward pause and go, Yeah, we'll consider that, Barnaby. You don't need to take his portfolio. He's just going to awkwardly shuffle away. He's not going to push for it. And this is the other thing as well. Like, if it comes out that it's true that what he did was just use it once to do something that admittedly seems quite noble, albeit for the usual non-noble reasons of this is going to cost me shit. But if it comes out that he did more than that, I guess that it's kind of justified in his mind at least, right? But to just have that power purely because he's just got a thing for that, like he just likes just being like, yeah, another title. And it's like a secret little badge collection that he has. I don't know. It was like almost just a hobby. How much can I push bullshit little rules and norms and get away with it? It really just seems like it was just pathological. Anyway, that was my perspective of it. What's your perspective? Let me know in the comments. Make sure that you like this video, because the truth must come out. Well, it doesn't really have to this time, but like the video anyway, because as we previously mentioned, this is all the press is talking about. Anyway, come see my Melbourne show as well.
Please share and comment below. Comment.